Or if you're watching me from the future times, do leave me a comment. You can also tune in and tell me what your favorite flavor of popcorn is, if the mood strikes. Now then, where were we? Yes, the Devin Nash challenge. So I believe I'm the first person to call it that. Hopefully it picks up because I think it would be incredibly neat to start a trend. I will be releasing a Notion template so that you too can take the Devin Nash challenge. This is Devin Nash. He is something of a thought leader in the marketing and business space. He owns a marketing agency, as I'm sure he will tell you. And he's been a personal source of education for me for a number of years now. I'm subscribed to his Patreon. He's got a lot of good insight in new media, aka platforms you're watching on right now. And he gave himself a 1 million subscriber challenge.
I'm going to get 1 million subscribers, and I'm going to tell you in this video exactly how I'm going to do it, in hopes that you will join me, or if you are into content creation, you'll do it yourself.
So make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because I will be challenging 3 individuals of my own to take this challenge. It's not just for content creators. What he lays out as a framework for taking it on a challenge like this, and it'll be applicable to everyone. I am designing this template that I'm giving away for any particular challenge or metric. The key to success in a lot of these sorts of formulaic layouts, you notice he loves his notepad, I love my Notion, is to write it down. There is a very, very, very wise saying that the shortest pencil is better than the longest memory. And I have been looking for a similar way of saying that, but saying something along the lines of the searchable index database of notes is better than the shortest pencil. Johnny, that doesn't flow. I know it doesn't flow, okay? It sounds horrible, but it's true. Because in my experience, you write something down, you put it aside somewhere, and unless you have a filing cabinet that's been pre-labeled an index that you immediately go file that thing in, and then that cabinet is always right next to you when you need that piece of information and you're able to find it, and it doesn't catch fire or something, how are you going to find that information? Some people, they have brain activator shenanigans where they write something down, then they remember it. You're still relying on your memory. I rely on my notes excessively. And by notes, I mean Notion. Let me show you what I've been working on. And it is a template. The link to this template is available right now in this stream video description. It'll be available in whatever video format this takes in the future. It will also be available for free on our Patreon after this. And if you still can't find it, feel free to DM me on X or Discord and I'll get you this link. Okay. Now we're going to put a custom icon on here to keep it brand safe. I'm going to pull from their list of things here. So let's look for, I was thinking about making this Devin Nash's head. Devin, if you see this and I have your permission to put your face on this template, leave me a comment. We'll do that. You tell me I can. But we're going to put a trophy on here. I am going to duplicate them. And I'll be showing you exactly how to answer these questions. My win condition is first going to be 1 million YouTube subscribers. The other win condition is going to be and this is going to be a little bit different from him, $10,000 combined revenue from indescribable industries business effort. There are multiple products that Indescribable Industries, my company, creates digitally. We're talking about shirts. I'm wearing one right now. Notion templates. I provide video editing services, website management and design services, graphic design services, other artistic lines of effort, coloring books, which you will see where you can learn more about that very soon, because we have a demo coloring book in the works to be released this week if I can get it out to our Patreon members, which I believe I can. I would say, and I know I can achieve the $10,000 likely faster than the 1 million YouTube subscribers, but I'm combining these two. I'm making this an or win condition because I am going to be working on these things, the business efforts, by making YouTube videos. And there's a video that I'll show you from Think Media a little bit on, and maybe another one from Creator Booth that talk about how you can achieve. Is the challenge attainable? So you might think off the top of your head that I, Mr. Johnny Osh, am a gaming creator. I had you all fooled, didn't I? That's right. You weren't watching me playing video games. You were watching me goof off. Yes, I'm a gaming creator. All right. However, that's not my only YouTube channel. Going back to YouTube here, I also have something you may or may not know about. Scrabble Industries, that thing I mentioned. This channel, with all 1 videos on it from last year. Look at that, 16 views. This is the channel that I am putting my 1 million subscriber challenge towards. Yeah. You thought, oh, he already has 77 subscribers. He only needs 999,923 subscribers. So that changes things a little bit, doesn't it? The reason I'm doing it on this channel is because of this video. Think Media vlogging style. I'm not going to go through it completely right here, but basically vlogging, if done, let me see if he lists the 3 T's, because those were pretty powerful and I think they deserve a shout out here. So the 3 T's. This has been the most effective way of describing how to plan a vlog, let alone a video that isn't going to be overly edited or isn't going to be directly informative that I've ever heard. And what do I mean by that? So there's a lot of ways to approaching YouTube content. You could look at it from a viral format perspective, where this is what's taking off, therefore I'm going to replicate it. You could look at it from a niche/topic perspective, meaning other people in my target who are approaching my target audience create content that is like this. Take Russian Badger, for example. He's really, really good at the mockumentary gaming style. I call it mockumentary because I think that's the old media term for it, but essentially it's gameplay, B-roll, narration, funny stuff. So he's making commentary about footage and events that he streamed or did something along those lines. Will I be making that kind of content? Yes, I will. That's not what this is about. The 3 T's here, the theme, takeaway, or topic, and then telling stories, is for making entertaining and engaging not low quality, but low edit content. Meaning, if I were to take these 3 T's and apply them to pre-scripted segments of, say, a live stream, I feasibly should be able to create engaging, low-effort videos for my business channel. And business slice of life content has a massive potential user market. So the target audience that I would have here would be entrepreneurs, which I will murder the spelling of here. Now, I haven't done the research on this, so I haven't coined a target audience phrase for this, but it would be people that want to relax and see what is happening in the life of an entrepreneur. So I almost want to call them business watchers or something like that, right? I haven't sat down to do the market research about this, but I've been focusing on it. Devin has a very clear-cut understanding of his target audience. I have an idea about people about it because he's talked about it a lot in regards to people doing this on TikTok, but I want to make not TikTok content as my primary content. TikTok content will come out of it, but it's not going to be my primary platform that I'm focusing on. So it's not just entrepreneurs, it's like casual customers could be an example, or media consumers, people interested in digital media creation. So I would say digital media creation enthusiast. And I think that's a pretty good target demographic there. Who else makes content like that? That's a rough one, chat. That's a rough one. Like I said, I haven't researched this, so I don't know who my competitors are. Think Media might be one, but I would almost say Corridor Digital would be a better example. So if you're not familiar, Corridor Digital and Corridor Crew are a group of super geniuses. Maybe that's giving them too much credit. A group of individuals that make a lot of interesting content and how they made it. See here, I think it's Corridor Crew is the correct channel because they have multiple channels. Yeah, so Corridor Crew would be a good example. So 6.59 million subscribers. So this is like the behind the scenes, the making of, how we did it. This was our challenge. It's a little bit more like it's a lot higher production value than what I have in mind, but they're showing you at least an idea of how they made certain things. Whereas I'm going to do live streams and then make content from them. That's kind of going to be what we're looking at. So let's say Corridor Crew at 6.59 billion. So that's definitely right on with the digital media creation. And now I'm probably going to analyze their videos and figure out good formats, things for that nature, but that's for another time. If you want to see me do that on stream, I definitely can. Oh, this guy's a good example, Jason Lee. So he's breaking down what markets are doing really well in the digital space. He's an entrepreneur. So this is a good example of entrepreneurs. He's only got 85,000 subscribers. So let's throw him in there. Jason. That's not encouraging. That is very small in terms of my total addressable market. So that's a little concerning. I would say another good example would be Frank Explains. The reason I bring him up is because he makes a lot of videos about Notion, just Notion, but it is digital media. And I think this is incredibly valuable. So we're going to throw him on there. Moss Frank Explains 54K. I actually wasn't really expecting this, but this is why the template exists. It does seem promising. It tells me that there's at least 66 million people out there that are interested in like visual effects, things created digitally, so forth. The number of people that are interested in digital media creation that are also entrepreneurs seems to be likely in the realm of like 80,000 people. And then people that are just interested in Notion, obviously that's a slightly different demographic. I'm going to put on here Notion users. So why Notion users? Because Notion templates is one of the products I'm going to use in order to meet this second goal. Johnny, are you setting yourself up to meet your second goal and not your primary goal? Listen, man. So I think, yes, the content owner with the minimum addressable market is here. That's Jason. We know this is achievable. The income goal definitely is achievable. How long do I think it will take me to accomplish this? We go back to Corridor Crew. I should have been looking at this all along. Go back to Corridor Crew, go to the videos, go to their oldest video. 13 years. They were making content here. And I want to say their other channel, Corridor Digital, is even maybe. Like, these are people that Markiplier looked up to when he started making videos, and he's been around for on nearly 10 years as well. Who knows how long to get that far. You look at, I'm guessing, yeah, he's only been on the platform a year, and he's almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is pretty good. Thomas Frank Explains. Bet you Thomas has only been on the platform like a couple years. 4 years. Okay. So how long do I think this is going to take to accomplish? The first goal, I think this would realistically take 7 years if I was consistent. Probably compounding certain things and given adaptation over those 7 years and how the content expands, depending on if I was able to leave my job with the government and do this full time, would definitely influence that. But I think it'll take, I would even put on there 5 to 7 years. Goal 2, if I keep up with this, I think I could realistically do this in 6 months. Yes, I just said that I believe I can make consistently $10,000 a month in combined revenue from all our business efforts in 6 months. Why do I believe that? Because I believe in the products that I've created. And I think that they fill very specific people's very specific needs. And there's enough of them to generate revenue. So that is if, and I'm not even going to say if anymore, now that I am committing to reoccurring creation of assets, this is how this is going to work. To make this make sense, I need to break down a few things here. I've adjusted my challenge slightly by going after a monetary goal instead of how Devin picked a viewership goal. And that's because I'm looking at this from a company perspective, in addition to the subscriber perspective. There are certain businesses that I'm a part of or that I'm the owner of that are not connected to indescribable industries. So while I'm thinking about my time investment into these things, I am only going to be recording and listing out indescribable industry specific lines of effort and products, which is very, very important, such as the shirt, the Notion templates, the Johnny Osh brand, the Indescribable Industries brand. This is Osherman Clothes, the coloring book, going to trade shows and conventions, picking up additional clients and getting involved in those kinds of projects. Anything that I do from under Indescribable Industries is going to have its own impact on that monthly income rather than the subscriber income or the subscriber number. And so I actually, I didn't put Johnny Osh on there because Johnny Osh is my no expectations creative outlet. I want to play games, have fun with my friends, stream. If you're watching this on Johnny VODs, that's the whole point of it. All 4 subscribers, right? It's not there to be appealing to the YouTube algorithm. It's there to be a record that I existed and I had fun doing. And I think that's just as important as putting mine to paper and doing what I'm doing over here with this. In the famous words of Leonard Nimoy.
That being said,
let's get into how I'm going to. So, first off, the large item, the stream. Devin's a streamer. I'm a streamer. Streams are fun. Streams are easy to do. And combined with that vlogging style that I brought up, I'm going to stream/vlog. And really, this is going to be a stream. Long stream. And I'm going to have to say 2 to 5 hours a week. I'm going to caveat this will be a planned and scripted endeavor. Nobody saw that because the microphone is off camera, but I unplugged my microphone by shifting it. Oh my goodness. Okay. How are you going to script a casual vlog? Well, sir, I'm glad you asked. I use bullet points, you know, like, hey, I'm going to do this design, do that design. We'll see how this goes. The long stream may end up being more Johnny Osh content, like gaming and things of that nature, than what's it called? Than business content. Because I'm going to be making content for both channels. Johnny Osh is a subsidiary brand owned by Indescribable Industries. So when I'm making content for Johnny Osh, that is a line of effort underneath Indescribable Industries. It's not on the same channel, so that doesn't contribute to the first goal, but it contributes to the second, because when I make Johnny Osh content, I can rep the Patreon community. I can do Patreon shoutouts. I can talk about stuff that's happening in the business. I'll probably have a business update segment or something, and that will go on the Indescribable Industries channel, and so on and so forth. So let's do 3 videos. That seems a lot. Let's do 2 videos a week. And then let's do 1 Johnny Osh, 1 new low edit vlog style. So why did I point these out? Because even these videos should be scripted. So with the Indescribable Industries one, I plan on streaming things like art, doing a design, making a product on the Osherman Clothes shop, building that website, working on those things. I don't intend to be streaming. I'm working on this client's website. I'm responding to this client's email, or I'm filming this client's video. I'll probably post about those things if they have public facing ad campaigns, because I want to hype up what it is that that client is producing or selling or making. Like right now, I have a client whose book you can buy on Amazon. It's called Into His Glorious Light. And it's a book to help people that are struggling with things like depression, suicide, that sort of stuff. I would take and produce like, oh, I'm going to follow along with James Julier art tutorials so I can make a design for my next Hawaiian shirt. That's something I would do, right? I would stream that. And definitely I want to keep streaming Risk of Rain content, video games and stuff, and make those Russian Badger style videos, or like having fun with the community, stuff like that. That's what the videos are going to be. The smaller distilled creation efforts are going to be like when sound bite from each video, 1 sound bite clip of hook to value. And now that we have the new shorts feature, this can be 90 seconds. I was hoping that YouTube would add that. Let's see here. So that should be at least once a week. If these things pick up, or I identify viable formats for them, maybe this will turn into update video. I don't want to be locked in a box with my short form content. I think short form content should be fun, energetic, and valuable in its own way. Because if I'm putting it up on the Johnny Osh channel, I'm doing it for fun. If I'm putting it on the Indescribable Industries channel, it should be informative in some way. But that could be, hey, remember to always put this clause in your service contracts. Or it could be, hey guys, we're going to be at this convention or what have you, right? How are we going to do that, right? So written item. I am going to kind of copy Devin at this point, because I think there's a lot of value in what he was saying about X. Now, he didn't mention Facebook. I'm mentioning Facebook because as someone who has physical products, a lot of the commerce that happens in discussions in my town happen on Facebook. a lot of people live on Facebook where I live. And so if I want to be selling products and resources and services and like generalizing that I'm operating in these industries and these things are available, I need to be present on Facebook. I'm not including it in my total addressable market, but kind of the same way as Devin, I think there is tremendous benefit in being present. It's just not something I'm going to be deriving primary stuff from. This is for all you entrepreneurs out there. Check this out. There's going to be a Notion template, a new clothing item. Why am I doing this? Setting a new product goal monthly is important to ensure that I don't stagnate. I intend to exceed this through the streams because the James Julier art channel that I really like following along with, he does like guided Bob Ross style tutorials. You make your own artwork, and then I'm going to do artwork based off of the local nature around here because a lot of this is nature based, and I'm going to put that on my shirts. So if you buy my designs in any way, I'm going to make that stuff with you, the community. We can be drawing on it together. It'll be fun. It'll be calming. I want to do that in each stream. It takes just about an hour, which is a really good segment for a stream. And then I'll show you the posting process, and you can get one if you want. You can make your own. Along and make your own, right? So that would be something that I am gonna do. I think that'll pile up in itself. But we're not just gonna make shirts. We've also got a light coloring book that's coming out that is printable, meaning you can print it on your own paper at home if you want, or you can use Procreate to draw it. I want to film my wife doing tutorials on these things and put it on her YouTube channel. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube channels underneath Inscrutable Industries, but that's at her availability and willingness to do so. But I want to be releasing these digital goods to bring value to the Patreon. The Patreon is going to be where I expect a lot of this stuff to work. So before he gets into the team, content creation does not happen by like one person without tremendous time sacrifice, especially if you're working full time, like no social life, or you only make content, spend time with your family and make content. This is very content creator oriented, but I'm sure if you put some effort into it, like you could say, I go back to learning a language, right? You're going to spend X amount of hours a week in Duolingo doing your thing. You're going to do your daily challenges, but you're also going to spend at least X amount of time studying vocabulary externally with ChatGPT. And then you're going to talk about it or talk with somebody who's a native speaker of the language at least once a week when you get a chance, and passively with people when you get the opportunity. That could be some sort of example, and you should put specific metrics with that, like he did. Do not overload yourself. These numbers are not large, and this is going to test him. The important thing to remember is that you keep things realistic and timely. You're always setting a frequency with what it is you're going to do, and I would push you to record it in some way where you're going to see it, not record it like this, but make a reoccurring task on your phone, make an alarm, do something with Notion. There's going to be a lot of Notion coming out of this channel and other channels as we go along here. If you're doing a solo goal, meaning you're not going to have people to help you directly, like they're not going to be creating content for you or with you, your team should be your support network. Any goal you do should at least be endorsed as good for you, if that makes sense, by your friends, loved ones, people that are around you. If you don't have those sorts of people around you, find Jesus, like for real. But like, those should be the people that want you to succeed at whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you know somebody who wants you to learn Spanish, or I don't know why I keep coming back to Spanish. Or maybe like me, I've got other entrepreneurial friends that also want to succeed in their areas and are going to be happy to see me succeed with my company and my goals. So you need to identify those individuals and get their buy-in. You don't need their exclusive support. If they're not going to support you, don't worry about it, right? But somebody who will encourage you if you're feeling a little down, and not somebody who is going to go, oh, you don't need to do the challenge, right? You're looking for people that are going to be encouraging and uplifting. Now, let's say you are going to need help. This is a crucial step in accomplishing these goals, because if you go into something that you needed help with beforehand, it doesn't matter how much of the other stuff that you've done. It doesn't matter if you've identified your total addressable market and how many things you're going to do weekly and what your super strategy is. If you don't know who's going to help you along the way, you will fail. And if you don't have the buy-in of the people you need help from, you will definitely fail, because they will go and reverse from being a multiplicative enhancement to achieving the goal to a divisive drag on achieving the goal. People are either with you or against you. If they're neutral to you, then they're really not with you. Doesn't mean that they're aggressively against you. It just means that you can't rely on them for those sorts of things. I heard a really good phrase once, and that is, whenever you do something in business and you're married, involve your spouse. If your spouse doesn't have the buy-in, then you're going to be dedicating your time to things that they either don't value or don't think you can do, or in general just takes you away from them, and that will eventually cause a rift. Doesn't mean your spouse has to be coming along with you at every turn. However, it is crucial that they support you in some way, so that when you go and spend your time doing those things, they're not critical of you for doing that over doing something else that you may have done together. Now, if you can come together with your spouse and achieve your business goals or hobby goals or what have you, that's a force multiplier. You're going to achieve what you want with two faster than you would with none, provided you can agree on the method, the goals, your strategy, and all those things. As long as you're in agreement, you're going to be able to accomplish it. So you see what he has here. If you look at this, I'm not sure if I can any bigger. Yeah, it's gonna work out. But if you're looking at what he has in these different sections, he's got everything labeled. He's got multiple people contributing to this, and he has, I don't know if those are timestamps or what he's got going on here, but he's got a way to capture this information. That's critical. If you don't have a good note-taking system, I highly recommend jumping into Notion and learning that. It's incredibly easy, and there's templates, so many templates available for you. I make templates for Notion for fun, but also to help other people. I have one for doing market research, are available on our Patreon for paid members. I'll probably set them up as single purchases as well on Patreon. You're just wanting to be able to capture your data and then visualize it after the fact. He's got, oh, I like this. He's got colors. He's got drop down things. This is great. So when you're figuring out your team, you want to define their position, define their responsibility list, and probably how much they're going to be compensated. Because he mentioned a revenue split, I believe, which is really important. That is it's kind of an undiscussed thing unless you really dig into content creation. But if you're helping somebody create content that's getting revenue, you should likely get a piece of that percentage. Generally good. What that is for the industry and how much you're making, I don't have time to break into that at this specific point. But if you want to hear about those things and my thoughts there within what I've done in the past, feel free to leave me a comment on this video when it eventually makes it out. to record synopsis frame at least once a week for target 5 hours, but as able. And from that, make at least one video target 2 mid-form videos. So videos slash stream make at least 2 shorts a week. Does that contradict what I wrote up here? I'm going to say, surely I can get 2 shorts out of this twice a week. Editing should be kept to a minimum using the new vlog style as outlined by Think Media. Theme, takeaway or topic, telling strokes. Okay, yeah. Theme, take away, value, topic, interest, telling a story, telling a story. Okay, that's very crucial. If you can just get into that section of a theme that has a takeaway or topic where you're providing value, and then tell a story to connect with the audience, you will be successful. Storytelling is the most powerful marketing and sales tactic in one that exists for humanity. I'm not understating that. The reason people don't like salesmen is because they are only after a monetary transaction, and they're not there to connect with you as a person for personable reasons. Whereas content creators should be connecting with you as a person for personal reasons and providing a value to you that is worth your money. Salesmen, it's always thought that they are not there to provide you value, but there to benefit their own company. And that's why people inherently don't like them, especially used car salesmen, door-to-door salesmen, all of them, right? So storytelling is the way we connect as humans to each other emotionally and logically. So there we have that. Within this, we're going to talked about the shorts, talked about that. Sit down and script slash bullet point out of written post for X. Use AI to help, right? To providing value to the Patreon community. All right, we get into the interesting stuff. This is very doable. This is very attainable. Devin, if you're watching this from the future and you're analyzing the things that I've said that are good and bad, hopefully this is one of the good ones. I believe this is a winning strategy, given refinement, and I should really come back and review this in a month. In fact, I will review on at remind next month. We're gonna say the 14th. I'm gonna be busy on the 21st. So the team, how are we gonna do this and with who? So first off, this is where things get a little interesting. I think I'm gonna have to be the primary editor. I have another guy that I'm training to be a cameraman, like videography style stuff, and a little bit editing. However, I believe his focus is more in the camera work and less in anything else. And so I'll have to find out what his availability is to be just a camera guy. Just having a camera guy can make the barrier to recording much better. So talking about the team, we're going to have responsibilities going to be lighting, filming, assistance, minor editing. His compensation is going to be, and this is an arrangement I already have worked out with this individual, the craft and potential revenues. Also, I'm going to need a researcher who's going to help me with the creation of these things. So primarily the products that I'm going to be creating is important, but also the planning and scripting of the streams. And this is artist product designer. So my wife is the primary artist for the company. I'm also a graphic designer artist sort of person, but she has designed characters and things that have picked up at when we take them to trade shows. People really like this one character she's designed called Shino. She's this cute little Lupin girl that we have stickers of, prints of. She gets into all kinds of trouble. She chases people around with a broom. And we're currently outlining the lore for this individual. And that's the coloring book that I'm going to be launching prayerfully this week on Patreon. So if you're interested, come join the Patreon community because that's going to be exclusively available there until we launch it as an official coloring book product. But you should be able to print it, make it in like a canvas you can use in Procreate. We'll have those files available to you when you purchase them, and any updates we make to the beta version of that product. Eventually, we want to launch like a 25 page coloring book. This could be for adults or kids because Shino is family friendly. So it all depends on how you like the character, the stories we want to tell with Shino, and that sort of thing. And so those sorts of artistic endeavors, maybe she'll do some thumbnail design too. So that's the team. I would want to add a dedicated editor, but right now I know I can't afford one at this exact moment. I will be able to soon. So, however, I would be willing to teach someone editing because I myself am an editor. If there's anyone in the community that wants to practice on real footage. So if that's you feel free to hit me up on Discord. The link to our community is in the video description. And let me know that you're interested in learning that skill. And I can teach you how to teach yourself. I'm not always going to be able to sit down with you on a call and explain it to you step by step. However, I can answer quick questions and in general point you to the resources that helped me edit. The reason I can't do that is because I myself am editing projects for other paying clients. And so that's a big part of this whole exchange that's happening here is all of this is in addition to my client work. Eventually, when these digital assets are taking up a bunch of those things, I'll be able to pick the clients that I want to be involved in their projects more than I want their business. And then we can move in that. The schedule. When is this happening? So the large effort is going to be, I want to say Fridays at 4:45. Fridays at 4:45 p.m. Well, statistically speaking, a lot of people are going to be off work at that time. It's a good point in my week to where it's not at the end of the day, it's not at the beginning of the day. I can sit down, dedicate time to making the content, and then if I need to quickly do something after the stream, like I need to quickly break up the footage or render some proxies or do something technical with it, I'm not exhausted to where I'm ready for bed. It might put me up to bedtime. A 5-hour stream from 4:45 is going to land me right around like 10 o'clock ish, maybe 9, right? But I'm still going to have a little bit of time. It's a Friday night. It's not going to be a big deal, so on and so forth. So that's not a bad time. From that effort, then you will start, I will say, and then we'll create the scripts and projects to track the video progress and schedule these for publishing. The tool. So Canva has this content scheduler I'd be interested to play with, and I want to see it. Oh, Now then, now to the interesting part, the funding. How are we going to pay for this? As you've noticed, I really only need to pay people in my company. This guy eventually I would like to pay, but he's agreed to work as a learner for free. The primary income sources in order of their priority are, and this is where you don't see this at all anywhere in here, is paying clients. That's where I get the majority of my business income, paying clients. But we don't want them to be the primary business thing, so we're not going to worry about them at this exact moment. So in our Patreon community, I am making a big push to make that the primary funding channel for Inscribable Industries, the company, not just Johnny Osh or what have you, right? The products that I'm going to be selling, the digital products, the Notion templates, all of that I'm going to be listing through Patreon as of right now. If that changes for necessity or what have you, maybe I don't like giving 8% to Patreon, and I, as a web developer, designer, know that I could feasibly make more money while paying for like a Squarespace memberships system, and I know that it'll benefit me more or something like that, then I'll do it at that point. But for right now, it's Patreon. And I really don't think if it's one of those things where it's like, if it's good enough for Devin, it's good enough for me, where Devin has been managing businesses and things of that nature for years and years and years. I am a member of his Patreon for $5 a month. And the content that he creates is crazy that he gives it away for $5. He could charge 10 and I would still be subscribed and it would still be the Patreon. And this is our Patreon link. That is to say, our Patreon Patreon segment. What's he talking about? Well, we are towards the tail end of this video. So now time to talk about Patreon. So at the link in the description is our Patreon. You can see it right here, the Inscribable Industries Patreon. There's all of 2 posts. You're here at the beginning. You can get in at the beginning of this. You can indeed join for free, which I didn't even realize you could do that. But I want to make sure that is there. I think I need to turn stats on and so on. Already, there is a research template that's in here, market research template. This template is what I'm going to be using to do all of the research for my content. This could be used for identifying viral formats, identifying your target audience, tracking keywords as they relate to views, tracking SKUs as they relate to shoes, tracking what kind of Printify products are doing well. It's a database made in Notion that connects to 2 other little databases. One's viral formats, the other one is SKUs, so that you can have some standardization in there. And it just gives you fields with tooltips to plan out exactly what it is that you are researching and to help you record accurate and relative information to your topic. So it's really for entrepreneurs, content creators, people that want to get into those things and know that you got to do research in order to create a product for a market. You need to understand what sells and who you're selling to. Most videos, when you're getting into content creation or you're looking at how do I get into Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or how do I have a successful Printify or Etsy business, you start with the research. You look at what is being effective. You use the tools that people are using to visualize the amount of money that people are making or the amount of traffic there, and you write those things down. But these creators that are telling you how to do this thing are not telling you how to record it. And so I saw a need there because I do a lot of this research. As you can tell, I sell shirts. I've got digital products. I've got services. I've got all sorts of things under my company. And I need a way of visualizing the data that I record. Otherwise, it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. Maybe for a day or a week, I'll have a comprehensive understanding while it's in my memory of a market. But when I go to make an important decision based off that data, I need to be confident that the data I'm remembering it correctly. I can see the trend. And so in the template, there's pre-created graphs. I will be making updates to this template as you go. So if you buy it once, you should have access to it forever, especially if you're part of the community. There's a feature in Patreon where you can sell a single post and people can buy it. And I will be putting this up for sale if folks don't want to do a monthly subscription. They just want to toss me $10 and you're good. But I will be providing updates, and I need to make sure that that will give you reoccurring access to it. If you bought it once, you own it forever. And all you'll have to do is check the link and see what the new updates are and make a copy of it, so on and so forth. And I will be making videos on how to use this template and things of that nature underneath the Indescribable Industries channel. So I would definitely get subscribed to that on YouTube if that template sounds interesting to you. But without further ado, this segment has been sponsored by our Patreon community. If there were members in here, of which there are not, I would shout you out. So go get subscribed. Thank you. And thank you to every future subscriber to our Patreon. On with the content, as it were. So, the Patreon community is going to be the primary funding. The next bit of funding is going to be coming from digital sales. Digital sales. One-off sales from Patreon. The reason I separated this from Patreon is because this is community subs. And these are one-off sales. These sales, depending on how the user experiences on buying them, may leave Patreon and may go to Gumshoe or Ko-fi or Squarespace, where I do it myself, or heaven forbid, I will build my own web server and transactor and own the entire vertical somehow. I could do that. I just don't want to. So that's where I expect the majority of the income to come from. At that point, after that, it will be ad revenue, Twitch right now, but really we want this to be YouTube. But we're not qualified for ad revenue from YouTube yet. The Johnny Ash channel on Twitch can make ad revenue, and people can subscribe there. And then we have tips, donations. And then we have clients. Expenditures in order priority of I think it would be responsible for the example here to list out my business expenses when it comes to producing this content. Primarily, the first expense is, I pay for the team sub on that, and then also GPT sub on that too. And then also Blackmagic Cloud store. I pay $20 a month for the Blackmagic Cloud service, and this is exceptionally valuable, especially if you're in the Apple ecosystem, where you can film on the Blackmagic camera app. It just came to Android, but it's better tuned for Apple products right now, and I use it on my iPad primarily. And then you can upload it directly, whatever you recorded, directly to your project for DaVinci, and you can be editing within minutes of recording or filming. It's exceptionally valuable and useful. The cloud features also allow you to bring on an editor or somebody for free. They just download DaVinci Resolve, make a free Blackmagic Cloud account, and you can share your project library with them, the database. I don't think it's as efficient as doing an actual structured organization, but I haven't done the research there to be able to look at the different things, so you can easily get locked out of your timeline or something silly if you're not paying attention. But it's still very useful if you were on a fewer stringer, definitely a pro word right there, fewer stringer budget at this point in time, and you didn't want to get into doing full-on organization stuff in there. I don't know if it costs more or not. I need to research that. Maybe that could be a stream, research ins and outs of the Blackmagic Cloud. That would be fun. Then we'll say graphic. See here I'm going to list food, electricity, mortgage. Why did I list those things? I'm in a newer house, which means I have a new mortgage. That's got to be paid for. That's where the studio is. It's in the new house. I have to keep my footage server cooled and powered, in addition to my computer, the wife's technology, all that stuff. And I live in the desert. So air conditioning is a very expensive, necessary thing. So I put down the electrical bill. These things are going to be siphoning off much of the $10,000 a month that I want to make. That is what I would prefer not to expend. So if I can find ways to subsidize these or cover them with certain income and things like that, or minimize these expenses, I'm looking for that. Food, everybody's got to eat. Generally, if I ask my spouse to do some artwork for the company where there's no client that's funding that, she's going to ask me for food or markers or something. She wants some concept of a reward or payment for her service, and I don't mind doing that. So there we have it. This is my strategy to get to 1 million subscribers or 10,000 combined revenue. Just because I meet the 10,000 a month goal doesn't mean I'm giving up on the 1 million. I want to make that clear. Technically, I did 2 separate goals or whatever. I'll probably go, hey guys, we did it. I'm able to do this and that now, and we'll just enhance this goal. Like, okay, we did 10,000. Thank you for your support. Thank you for buying my product, yada, yada. Now let's do 25,000, right? That would be reasonable. The 1 million subscribers, I think that'll just come with time. I'm estimating 5 to 7 years in that channel. I don't know what Johnny Osh is going to be. It's purely a, what's it called, a glory stat or whatever. Like, it's purely bling, essentially, for that channel, which is okay. If you want to take this challenge, link is in the description. You can fill out this form. You can record yourself doing it. You can tag me in it, and we'll look at it on stream, right? That'll be pretty cool. However, chat, some people are about to get called out. Do you remember the ice bucket challenges of yore? It was like you challenge people to do it, and then they had to do it. So I am challenging Supply Jeff. That's right, Jeff. I tagged you in this Twitter post for a reason. I am challenging you to go and use this free template, make a Notion account, duplicate the template into your Notion, and fill it out on stream. I know you're going to be streaming tonight. I know this is something that you would definitely get a kick out of doing because you're a content creator too. And I think it would be fun and responsible for you to do it. The next person I am challenging, that's right, it's more than one person. Look out, everybody, is Pharaoh. Pharaoh, you know who you are. Pharaoh is a friend of mine that is into marketing, social media. He has amazing takes in the world of entrepreneurship. And I believe this challenge is going to be incredibly useful to him. Pharaoh, you've been challenged. You already have a Notion account. I've seen it. Go duplicate this template for free and fill it out. Bonus points if you record yourself doing it. And the last person I'm challenging is Sage Break. Sage, you know who you are. You're the other community manager in Indescribable Industries. I know you have a Notion account because you're in our Notion team that I'm paying for. So you go and make a copy of this template. You don't even need to go very far to do it because it's already in our team Notion. And you fill it out for something that you're going to create. It does not need to be related to the company. Sage is the other co-owner of Indescribable Industries. But I wanted to tag you in it because I wanted to see what you came up with. Maybe you're going to go learn a skill or something. I don't know. But you 3 have been challenged. Show up or show out, I guess, is that I don't know. I don't know how to make this intimidating. I'm not naturally an intimidating presence, I guess.